we will get going. All right, so to start off, guys, welcome to Team Call Tuesday. Super excited as we round out July for all of this month was epic with Summit and everything that came about. I just couldn't be more proud and excited to finish the second half of this year off the hook. So really quick, I'm gonna screen share so you guys can see. Coach of the week this week is Marie. You guys, she has like, next week her baby is due and this woman is killing it. You'll see her name also on the Success Club board. She hit Success Club 6 without failure. And I'm just could not be more proud of her for always continuing to show up no matter what's going on in life. And guys, look at the Success Club board. So many of you are so stinking close. Sierra, you're back, you're on the board, kicking butt. We also have, who's not on the list, Morgan made it, Morgan Profit, she's on there. You guys are just doing the things. So you're so close, let's not wait. Those of you at 4, Peyton, I saw you advanced to 4 today. You're not at 2, but I didn't have time to update the report. So great job, guys. Keep up the great work. Let's see. And top volume earners. You guys, these numbers continue to grow. And I love to see Jacob on there. So that tells me that Katrina is hustling. But the volume, you guys always surprise me. Way to go, Barbara. She's been in the top 10, you guys, the last 4 weeks in a row. And it just makes me so excited to see all of you guys on here continuing to grow your business. So absolutely amazing job there. As far as some quick announcements, guys, check out the coach calendar that we talked about last week. We put it in a weekly format so you guys can simply have things to post and talk about and know what your focus is for the week. So that's awesome. As far as corporate announcements, BOD Squad's going amazing. I put up some graphics over the weekend. So congratulations to everyone growing their BOD Squads. And if you haven't checked out the back office on the Getting Started Right, it was one of the main things at Summit that you guys talked to Keyshawn about, of having a Getting Started Right system. Well, corporate did it for you. It's in the back office. So if you have maybe struggles or you're nervous about what you are doing on your own, definitely go check out what corporate put together for you because it's fabulous. Other than that, without further ado, I am so stinking excited to announce Stephanie Noble. I'm sure you guys have seen her name repeatedly on the National Wake Up Call. I know I do, as she just continues to rank advance. She's killing it. She's a wife, mama too, a doula. She's the founder of Rise and Thrive. That's the name of her team, which is absolutely killing it right now. Just to put that into perspective, she started in January of 2020 and she's a 6-star team. So in a year, a little over a year, they grew a 6-star organization, which is mind-boggling, amazing. And by all means, thank God we record this because I'm sure everything she says is going to be gold. You might also recognize her because she is a Beachbody Challenge finalist. She was actually, Danny Detra is her coach, and she was one that I repeatedly said, vote for her, we know her. She's like family to us. So absolutely love seeing her at Summit. I'm sure you all recognize her from there. Just get some people muted. And she is a Success Club All-Star 10. So she's on her way to legend. She's 15 months strong at Success Club 10. So I have no doubt that she's stopping. I have a feeling that's going to keep on going into legend and all the way up. And it's obviously a non-negotiable in her business. So please give her an absolute warm welcome. I'm so honored to have her on our call tonight. And she is going to talk about bringing some heat, bringing some fire, 10Xing your business, and obviously tell us what she did to go 6-star in a little over a year. So Steph, take it away.
Hello, thank you for having me tonight. I'm super excited. I love just opportunities like that kind of just show up, make you a little bit uncomfortable, because that's pretty much everything that I built my entire business on is just things that make me a little bit uncomfortable. So I've learned when when I see things like that, like someone needs a team call, someone to speak, I jump on that right away. I wanted to just share, I'm going to share my Beachbody challenge video. Actually, I've been doing this the last week or two when I go on calls. It's 2 minutes long. And if I start sharing about my health journey, I take a lot longer than 2 minutes. And so I found it pretty easy to just share that video. If you saw it at Summit, you probably did see it at Summit if you watched the Beachbody challenge, but now you're watching it knowing that I'm going to talk to you. So it can kind of just be like a quick run through of my journey. And then I'll share my coaching story as quickly as I can. And then I just want to share my top 10 things I've learned, which are all things you guys have probably heard multiple times, but they're all things I heard multiple times and then I implemented, and then I realized why I heard them so many times. So sometimes it's not that you hear something new, because there really is zero secrets in this business, as I'm sure you all know. It's just hearing it in a little bit of a different way that maybe resonates, that makes you take action when you maybe didn't take action before. So I'm just gonna share, if it'll let me, my video real quick. Oh, yay, okay. And okay. Oh, I have to share sound. There we go. Okay.
My name is Stephanie, and this is my story about losing 79 pounds.
The sound was working?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. We
Okay.
can hear you.
Before I started my fitness journey, I weighed 209 pounds. A few months after my son was born, my best friend passed away from a brain tumor. Food became my coping mechanism, and I packed on the pounds. I got very lost in grieving and motherhood. Being 5'1", 209 pounds was a lot on my frame. I couldn't get on the floor and play with my kids. I couldn't take them on a walk. We had to set up a bed in the downstairs of my house just so that I wouldn't have to walk upstairs to go to bed. My kids are the reason I knew I had to make a change. I started my journey with Morning Meltdown 100.
This workout is all about you. It's not about anybody else. I'm right there with you.
The first 2 weeks were so hard to press play and work out, but it was harder to stay stuck. And I could not do that to my kids anymore.
My last workout on the Morning Meltdown 100 and it felt so good.
Day 100 showed me that I could do anything. My coach is Danny. She has been such a huge part of my journey. And when I didn't believe in myself, she believed in me. She welcomed me to a community of the most amazing people that I know. Next was bar. I moved on to MBF and MBFA, T20, 4 weeks of the prep. And now I'm on my second round of 9-week Control Freak, and I love it. I follow 2B mindset. It's allowed me freedom over food and a positive mindset towards it. And I drink Shakeology every single day. It's been such a staple in my transformation. I've transformed physically and mentally. I have confidence for the first time in my life. In 1 year of Beachbody programs, I've lost 79 pounds and I've kept it off. Since then, I've continued to lose weight and gain strength. I'm in the best shape of my entire life. I have abs, I have muscles that I'm proud of, and I have a new relationship with my body that I've never had in my entire life. Everything changed. I just can't even imagine the life that my kids would have had if I didn't find all of this. It was all the little actions that added up and changed my entire life. And you just cannot put that into words.
Okay, so in a nutshell, that's my journey. I talk a lot longer than 2 minutes, and obviously that is Beachbody's advertising, so they got to make their plugs in there. But the gist of it was the small actions added up and changed my entire life. But what they didn't put in the video that I said in the interview is that coaching is what did that for me. I had tried Beachbody several times before I started that morning meltdown. And I got to like day 4 of 21 Day Fix. I don't even know how many times in the several years leading up to morning meltdown. And then when I finally did morning meltdown, I had planned to start on a Monday, and then Monday rolled around and I didn't start. And on Tuesday, I woke up and I was like, I can't ever feel like this again. Like, I woke up Tuesday feeling like the most self-hatred I ever imagined. And I felt like I was a terrible mom because I kept making promises to myself to get healthy and then not doing it. And so I just said, I can't wait 6 more days to better myself. Like, I got to do something. And so I pressed play on day 1, and that was the first day of the rest of my life. But what was like magical was at the end of workout number 1, of course, I didn't lose any weight or like change my mindset like I have over the last year and a half, but I did feel like I was a good mom. And that was a win that I needed at that time. I was 5 months postpartum with my daughter. And after my best friend passed away before I had my daughter, I was just drinking and eating, and like I was using food and alcohol as a coping mechanism, and it was not healthy. So I found that, and I found, like I wasn't even focused on the weight loss at the beginning. Of course, I wanted to lose the weight. That's why I did it, right? Like, I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. But what really kept me going at the beginning was that I felt like I had little wins. Like, I felt like a better mom at the end of my workout, even though I didn't even talk to my kids during my workout most of the time. And those were the things I needed. And that's exactly how I feel about inviting. So I'm just going to talk about inviting real quick, and let's just get it out of the way and not waste any more time on invites. Because honestly, like, it's overdone. Like, it's really not a big deal to invite you guys. Like, if I wasn't invited, this wouldn't have saved my entire life. And if I wasn't invited to the coaching opportunity, I wouldn't be doing it. And I wouldn't be on my fitness journey either if I wasn't coaching. You just got to like get over yourself on the invites, right? But one kind of tweak that I've had for my team and myself that's really helped. First of all, like, I'm sure you guys know who Mariah White is. I don't know what bigger team you're on, but she spoke on the National Wake Up Call, and she was literally in her closet with a gun to her head, and she got like her 7th follow-up from somebody, and why she's alive, and she has a daughter. Like, how powerful is that? Could you imagine if the person who invited Mariah was like, oh, I think she might say no, or like worried about what they thought? She would not be here. Her daughter would not have a mother. And all the people on her team wouldn't have changed their life with these tools. It's insane, like the ripple effect that your one invite can have. So you got to get out of your way. But when I started my journey, workouts were really just like a means to feel like I was controlling something. Like, it was like a quick way to feel like I was honoring my marriage and my kids and my family and my life somehow, like doing something positive. That's what inviting is for your business. So I personally, of course, I'm inviting, hoping I save someone's life, right? Like, hopefully no one's in the closet with a gun to their head, but like, if I ever catch myself in a thought process of like, oh, I'm inviting that person for the 9th time, maybe I shouldn't, I check myself real quick and send the invite anyways, because first of all, you don't know what's on the other side of that invite. Second of all, when you're sick of talking about it, it's when they start listening. Right? Like, I just signed someone up last week. She's gonna crush it. And I know when people are gonna crush it, like we all do, you can tell. You might get it wrong sometimes, but I've invited her 18 times. 18 times. I've invited her since the first month I started coaching. She was the first person on my dream team list when I wrote it for the first time. And she just joined me a year and a half later. And when I sent her that invite, I'm like, God, she's going to like ignore me again, but I'm like, whatever, send it. Like, just send the invite. You can't make up their mind for them. But what I also do is I see the invites as a way for me to feel good that I've done my service. Like, I've served my purpose. My purpose as a coach is to help other people use these tools to change or save their lives like it did for me. And so when I've sent a couple invites, I've served my purpose and I feel good. I feel like I've honored my business. So I'm not necessarily doing it for the guests or because I'm detached from the outcome of that invite. And I like leveraging invites as a quick way to feel like I've served my business and I've served my purpose as a coach. And so if you can look at it that way, it might like make it a little bit easier for you. And then also just like Micah Folsom on her Do Your Crap podcast is the best advice I heard with getting in the zone with invites. People can smell desperation. They can smell insecurity. They can feel your energy transfer through a message or a voice memo or whatever means of inviting you do. And so you have to get yourself in a good headspace for a minute to send your invite. So whether you do it after you work out and you're feeling good, or if you're like, man, I have not sent my invites and I want to go to bed feeling like I served my business today, so I need to send 5 invites. Turn on your favorite song, look at some of your posts that made you excited, like watch something that excites you with this business. Think about the people whose lives, like Moira lived in her car. She's the top coach in the company. Like, think about the power that you're offering these people, like the amazingness that you're offering them, what it's done for you, and put on a good song and just like get your joy going. Send the invites because you want to honor your business and then be done. That's all I'm going to say on invites because I just don't want to talk about them anymore because you have to do them. Like, there's things that will zap your joy in this business, but there's things that you have to do in this business. And you're not going to build a business without inviting. So like I said, I'm not sharing any secrets you probably haven't heard. I'm just sharing my best practices and the things that have settled with me and helped me on my journey with coaching, or maybe one of my coaches on my team. And I will say that my business changed the most at New Leaders Conference. So if you have not gone to New Leaders Conference, meaning you have not gone 1 star for your first time, do that as quick as humanly possible. Get yourself to Diamond, get your spouse to Diamond, and go to NLC because it is, my coach, Danny, who's one of my best friends, she always said that NLC is the best training she's ever had from Beachbody, and you only get it once. And I, after experiencing NLC, would wholeheartedly agree with that. So much happened. I went to NLC in January this year and it was virtual, but everyone who qualified on our team went to Arizona and like stayed in a house together. And I left there a diamond. And 3 months later, we were in 7-star qual. Now we dropped out of 7-star in the last week, but we're still a 6-star team. So whatever, like our goal was 10-star, but we still hit 6-star and that's still amazing. And I'll get to goals in a minute and why that's important, but get yourself to NLC as quick as humanly possible. I'm going to be sharing something that Keyshawn Graves said at NLC that moved me and changed my life. So I'll share that in a second. And then the other 2, like really quick little tips I can give that I heard, I kid you not, 1,000,000 times before I implemented them is 1, get the Rise Up Planner, because your vision and your goals are extremely important. Like I read a quote the other day that said, the only difference between millionaires and billionaires is that millionaires write their goals down once a day and billionaires write the goals down twice a day. The point is, like millionaires, billionaires, whatever, there's none of them that don't take time to reflect daily on where they're going and their goals. And, you know, I'd always like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I would like write it down for a day. And then it would like be in my drawer. Like I didn't even have it out visually to see every day. But it shouldn't even be like you see it every day. It should be like you take the time to intentionally write down your goals every day because you are connected to them. And that is what the Rise Up Planner did for me. It forced me to do that and it forced me to stay organized. I mean, it's made for Beachbody coaches. So if you don't want to spend the $60 on her website, then you just have to really make sure that you're writing your goals down every single day, that you're creating a vision for your team and you're honoring it every day. And you're doing check-ins with yourself weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually about your goals and what you're doing to reach them, because this is your business and yours only. And if you don't make this business work, it's because you didn't work. It is no one's fault. It's not Katrina's fault. It's not your upline's fault. It's not Carl Deichler's fault. It's not the Beachbody Tools fault. It's on you if you don't make this business work. A lot of people in this company that have made it really far don't even have an upline for support and didn't have all the resources that we have in the back office. So I would say either get the Rise Up Planner or make sure that you're very in tune with your vision and your goals and how you're going to get there. And be real about what you want in this business. Have big goals and write them down. So if your goal is diamond, then you gotta know. Like, diamond's not a goal. Diamond is a decision that you're working your business. If your goal isn't superstar, then you gotta like get 10X rule by Grant Cardone and listen to it. Like, because if you're not going to let yourself set big goals because you think they're not possible for you right now, you're going to sit there forever. Like, maybe you don't see how you're going to get to superstar or 10-star or 5-star, but if you know you want it and that's a goal, you're going to work for it. And I think that's the big thing about like why you see some of the top teams in the company just like fly through diamonds, right? Like several diamonds every week. It's because the environment in those teams is that diamond is not a goal. It's a decision and everyone's doing it and showing everyone else that it's possible. And so they're just, when you decide you want to work the business, you like get to diamond. And so that's kind of like the difference. And so if you don't have an environment like that, where you like believe it's possible because you see it happening all the time, you have to make it for yourself. My goal was not 6-star. My goal was 10-star. My goal was not to be a Beachbody Challenge finalist. My goal was to win the Beachbody Challenge. But guess what? I won $15,000 because I was a finalist, even though I didn't win the grand prize. Our team is a 6-star team, and there is so many ladies on our team who have changed their lives that wouldn't be here if I was like dreaming small. Like 1-star was the goal, and then Premier was the goal, and then whatever was the goal. Like, you've got to set your goals really high, because then you're going to work really hard and then you're going to meet the goal that you thought you had without even trying. Like, my goal last year was Premier, and I didn't hit Premier last year because I didn't go 2-star. My goal this year, elite, duh. Like, I was still a diamond when I set that goal, but I'm like, I learned to dream bigger for myself, because nothing's going to respond to you if you can't dream bigger, because you're not going to put the work to the dream if you don't have a bigger dream. And so I'm already like, our team locked in Premier already this year. And like last year, that would have been like a big thing for me, and I would have stopped. Like, it would have been good enough because my goal was Premier. Don't set good enough goals. Like, set goals that will keep you going. So that's that. And then the other really quick thing, and I see that it's 6:24 and I still have 7 things to show. I'm going to go really quick, but I took forever to finally take this advice, and you guys have all heard it a million times. Pick your niche. And I heard it so many times, and I was like, no, because I had a lot of success. Like, I've always hit really high Success Club numbers. I've always like put the work in and like done well with my business. And so I really just ignored that advice like constantly. But when I finally, honestly, at one point, I'm like, I'm so sick of hearing this niche thing. I'm just going to do it. It was at the same time when I was like starting to create my podcast. And so I wrote the niche and I started serving my niche. So talking to my niche. And I'll tell you, I had all the mental blocks, right? Like, I'm like, well, if I pick a niche, like everyone on my team's different. Some are moms, some aren't. Some have full-time jobs, some are stay at home, And so I was like, but if that was my niche, then I wouldn't have Hannah and I wouldn't have Sandra, But like, the right people are still going to come to you. But when you pick your niche, it makes your delivery so much better. And I swear to you, the universe responds to it. I swear. After a year and a half, a month ago, I finally picked my niche and just started like, it wasn't even that I was saying what my niche was or talking necessarily directly to my niche in my post, but the energy that I was like emitting when I was writing those posts and talking on my story, And when I got nervous because I had to do a training or I was doing a call, I would literally like close my eyes and be like, do it for her. I would like say my niche's name and I would like, I'm like, she needs you. Like, where's she at? What's she doing? And I pulled this out of Keisha Fitzgerald's training. Where's she at? What's she doing? And why does she need this message? I kid you not, you guys, my niche, part of my niche was that they already had Beachbody On Demand, but they didn't ever get assigned a coach because they signed up through their TV. I've signed up like 7 people this month who came to me on Instagram as strangers who already had Beachbody On Demand. Like it really like responds to you if you can like hone in on that energy and focus on it. So I heard this and I use it all the time. When you get back down to like your goals and aiming big and writing them down and owning your business, diamond is a decision and 5 stars a mindset. Anybody can do either of those. Anybody can make the decision and go diamond, and anybody can challenge their mindset and be 5-star. If you're doing the vital behaviors and you're not diamond, like you're really doing all those things and you're not diamond, you're either bullshitting yourself and you're not really doing all those things, or you just haven't been doing it long enough consistently. Like, end of story. There's like not a workaround on that. And then from diamond to 5-star, like I learned this on someone else's call. This isn't like my claim, but they actually did a lot of like, I think it was either Keyshawn or Sydney or like one of the corporate mentors that talked, or Doug Moss maybe, about like the difference between those diamonds and the 5-star like elite coaches. It was mindset all the way, mindset. And Trina Gray is my upline. And she always says, you know, like she says the same thing, like diamond's a decision, 5-star like is a mindset, superstar, not everybody can get superstar. Like that's just the fact. Like not everybody's made to be a superstar coach. Not everybody has what it takes to be a superstar coach, but everybody has what it takes to be a diamond 5-star coach. And so the diamond, like you've just decided that you're going to honor your business. You're going to do the 4 vital behaviors consistently until you get to diamond. And if you're worried about like not finding business builders, because that is what I hear constantly, I have like 2 things to say to that. 1, don't worry about your business builders until you've got like 12 coaches. Because if you have 2 coaches and you're like so focused on finding business builders, you're making this way harder on yourself than it has to be. But 2, if you're focused on what you don't have, you're in that diamond mindset, not the 5-star mindset. But also not even diamond mindset if you're not a diamond yet and you're so focused on not having workers, because it's kind of a BS attitude. And I'm not judging you because I had it too. But if you're like, oh, nobody wants to work the business with me, how about you like point the finger back, and are you showing them why they should work the business? Are you giving them good results so that they want to work the business? Like, are you giving them the opportunity to want to work the business, or are you just like inviting everybody and signing them up and then hoping that they want to work the business and then being mad when they don't? Because if you're working the business and you're leveraging coaching to get you the best results and the most joy and the best energy, and you're helping people use these tools to get results that they're going to want to share, then working coaches will come to you. But if you've signed up 2 coaches and then you're complaining that no one wants to work the business, are you showing up as someone that works the business and has benefited from that? And you've got to like have that attitude of gratitude, right? Like you got to be grateful that they joined you in any capacity. Because when I was complaining about having no one work in the business, like I would say up to like October of last year, that was like a continuous complaint of mine. I was a diamond, but that's because my mom was an emerald and my husband was an emerald, and I had signed a bunch of coaches. Not because I had people taking the business seriously, but I was focused on that. So I wasn't getting anyone working the business. And then, but the funny part is in October of last year, when I was complaining about no one working the business, 5 of my 8 diamonds that have popped this year, because I also have some under my husband, were already on my team. And I was complaining that no one wanted to work the business. They were not working the business yet, but I was not showing up with the energy that invites them into wanting to work the business. They were already there. Like, you have no idea who might want to work the business when you welcome them to do it. And you do it with joy. And you focus on gratitude. They were probably following 5 other Beachbody coaches when they said yes to you. So honor that and let them get results. All 5 of those diamonds that were already on my team in October of last year, who are leaders on my team now, they were still just finding their footing with their own health journey. And in November of last year, I wanted to quit coaching. And the month that I reached out to Danny, who was a stranger on the internet that I had signed up with as a challenger, and asked her about coaching, she wanted to quit coaching. It's like when you want to quit and you want to, like, you're sick of talking about it, like I said with invites, if you can lean into coaching and leverage it instead of like dropping it out the window in your car, that's when like the real magic happens. You probably have someone enrolled as a customer or a coach who can be your next rock star leader on your team, but they're not going to unless you lead by example. You give them a great space and a great community to flourish, and you show them what the business has done for you, and then continuously invite them to calls. Like, you don't have to say, hey, come work a business, make money, go diamond. You can just say, hey, do you want to come to the team call this week? One of my leaders, Sarah, she was on my team for a year. She was working on her health journey. I invited her to every team call for like 4 months. She never showed interest working the business. I just knew she would be good, so I kept inviting her to the team call. I didn't apply pressure to her to work the business or hit Success Club or invite people. I just said, do you want to come to the team call? And I sent her the link every single Monday. And then she came once, and now she's about to go 1-star. Like, she's a top leader on our team. And so just like opening up that space and like realigning your own energy. Like, if you're focusing on what you don't have on your team, you're just going to keep getting more of what you don't have. Go to all the calls you can is one thing I learned, because it keeps you centered to your journey. You might just hear something. Like, everything I've heard, every pivotal moment in my journey has been something I heard on a call for the millionth time that I decided to implement that time. And so like Mondays in my house, like my husband will not pick up overtime. Like, everybody knows, like, Mondays are team calls and Thursdays are my team calls. Like, they're not negotiable. If I'm traveling, I'm on the team call. Like, you don't talk to me during that hour. We don't schedule things. Like, I go to those calls because I'm not going to take the chance that I miss the opportunity to hear something that I need to hear to better myself on my own health journey, in my business, or even just in my life separate from my business. So go to all the calls you can and make those non-negotiable. If you want this to treat you like a business, you have to treat it like a business. Pretty sure you would go to the one business meeting a week if you had a 9-to-5 job that required you to go to it. So go to the calls. Don't expect a paycheck if you don't put in the hours on the paycheck. Like, you can make a lot of money, insert disclaimer, right? Like, I don't know of other jobs where you can work for 3 years like Ashley Molstad and make $1 million. Like, the opportunity for earning is so endless, but people like see that and then they're like, oh, I've been coaching a year and I'm not making it and I'm sitting at diamond. But it's like, they're not putting in the hours, they're not building the community, they're not doing the things, which leads me to this question that I want to ask you, and I want you to like think about seriously. If your challenger or coach was to join Ashley Molstad, Moira Kusaba, Holly Hillier, any of those like top successful coaches in the company, if your challenger or coach was to join them instead of you, would their results be better? Would they crush it on their health journey more, have more accountability? Would that discount coach actually be working the business if they were under one of those top coaches? Would that person, like, kind of hanging out at Emerald, already be a diamond if they were part of one of those top teams? And I ask you that not to make you feel bad, but to remind you that like those coaches do not have anything that all of us don't have. Like, end of story. They just show up with confidence about the opportunity, and they show up first for their health and their business. None of the top coaches are compromising their own health journey or their own business in getting comfortable. Like, that's one thing they all have in common. Like, they're all really comfortable being uncomfortable. And so I'm not saying that to like feel bad, like, oh, they could have joined Ashley Molstead and been a diamond. Like, the point is, they can be a diamond, they can get the results, they can have the accountability, and you can do that for them. You just have to like get out of your own way and like change your energy to be confident that they can do it. Like, every single person that signs up with me and wants to work the business, I text Danny and I say, this person's going diamond. Do they all go diamond? Obviously not. I'm not a superstar 8. But I have the confidence that they are going to go diamond because I know they can, because I know that it's a decision. And so I give them the resources, I plug them into the community, and I let them take ownership for their own business while like cheering them on. And I just like, I'm constantly thinking, like, if someone sends me a message and they're struggling, and I'm like, if they were on Holly Hillier's team or Moira Kusaba's team, would they be doing better, and why? And how can I give that to them? Because you can, we all can. We can all do the exact same thing that they do. You can create the environment, you can create the community, you can give the accountability. You have to have confidence that they can grow their business. And you get that by building your own business and having the belief in it. Because if you're not confident that they can build their business because you don't have belief in your own, because you don't put to work the 4 vital behaviors, they're not going to feel confident in it. Like, you've got to know without a shimmering doubt that they do these things and they're going to reach their goals. And the only way you're going to know that without a shimmering doubt is you do the vital behaviors, you do it consistently, and you get the results. And then your belief, like, you build so much belief in yourself that you have enough for everyone else. It's definitely not an overnight thing. And then as far as like the mindset, I'm not going to go too much longer. I do want to share with you what I heard from Keyshawn that really changed things for me. And that was at the New Leader Conference. I don't know if anybody was there. She had a speech about climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and how it was like her biggest lesson she's ever learned in leadership. And she talked about like this team, and they were from Germany. And if you don't know about climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, you have to have teams. You can't do it alone. It's like a multiple day trip. You know, you go up, you go down. And she had a lot of really valuable takeaways. Some like, you know, we thought we were going to go 8 miles that day and we only went 4, but the next day we thought we were going to go 6 and we went 10, you know, like in that, I mean, how true is that in life and fitness and coaching and health? Like, you set the goals and sometimes you fall short and sometimes you fly past them, but like you still have to like have the mountains to climb, you know? But she was talking about how they have to have teams. And there was this team that she followed pretty closely to all the way up the mountain, and they were from Germany. And she showed this picture, and this guy had no legs. And his whole team was holding him up on this like beam thing, and he was using his arms to help them walk it, and they were carrying him literally to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, like multiple days, multiple miles a day, freezing cold temperatures. Like, people have to train for this stuff. And that team from Germany made it to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, and he did not have any legs. And she said that was like the most valuable thing she's learned in leadership. And if you guys have someone on your team who went to NLC this year, I would strongly suggest that you have that person screen share and get on the Facebook group and play that call with Keyshawn. It's about 20 minutes. I went onto my Facebook, the NLC Class of 2021 Facebook, and screen shared that video for my team to see. You will all be in tears, I promise. But she just talks about like that team from Germany, like they all had to have that vision of the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. Like, you don't climb Mount Kilimanjaro to climb it, to get to the top of it, without having goals every day of how far you're going to go, without having an action plan, without knowing to the depths of your soul that you want it. Especially, you're not going to help trek someone's body weight who does not have legs if you don't all have the same vision of all of you being at the top of that mountain. And that is what really resonated with me. Is I was like, okay, if I'm the guy with no legs, am I like rallying the troops and like believing so bad that I want to go to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, meaning like we've changed so many lives and we're like a top team recognized because of it, like all of that, right? Like, am I doing whatever that guy with no legs had to do? Like, he had to have belief and faith. Like, you bet that guy was not bitching that he didn't have legs. He did not feel bad for himself for not having legs. He has never been a guy that sat and felt bad for himself that he couldn't climb Mount Kilimanjaro because he didn't have legs. He's the guy that said, how do I climb Mount Kilimanjaro with no legs? Like, how do I be the first person? How do I do it? Like, that's the difference between diamond and 5-star. It's that mindset. Are you the guy with no legs that just closes the goal of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro because you have no legs? Or are you the guy that like rallies a troop and believes in it so hard and strong that you, in response to that, like other people start to see that vision of you guys at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro because it's so strongly instilled in you. And that can look like a rank, that can look like whatever you want it to look like. For my team, it looked like I saw a community of women who just like had each other's back no matter what, and like empowered each other to be like this magical version of themselves that they didn't even know existed, and like changed all these lives, including their own. But I wasn't showing up with like that belief that it was going to happen. Like, I was complaining that I didn't have legs. And so like when you can, whatever that vision looks like for you, like where you want to take your team and you want them to take their teams, like you got to show up with that energy and like rally the troops and believe it so freaking hard, which comes from doing everything we talked about, writing it down twice a day, envisioning it, putting in the work to get there so that you have enough belief to share with your team while they build their belief. And then that's like where the magic, like my team, when we went 6-star, like we went from 1-star qual to 7-star qual in like 4 weeks. And that was because the community, like the similar vision was there. And it wasn't overnight, definitely not. Like it was a lot of like, I had to stop, like you're a leader of your team. Whether you have 0 coaches or 10 coaches or you're 4-star, 5-star, you are the leader. So you, if you've read the energy bus, you're the energy ambassador of that team. Sure, we're all responsible for our own business, all that, right? But you are the energy ambassador. If you haven't read Energy Bus, read it and you'll know what I'm talking about. That was a game changer for me as well. And so if there's things zapping your energy, like relationships that you are allowing that don't respect what you're after, or boundaries you haven't set in and outside of coaching, like you got to set them. Because your whole entire team or whoever's joining you in the future is like waiting for you to make those changes in your own life so that you can show up as the best energy ambassador, so you can give them that belief that the guy with no legs had to get to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. Because if you're allowing things in your life that don't serve your goal, you're the guy with no legs that just hasn't even thought about the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. So you've got to like make the changes. I cut out relationships. I set really uncomfortable boundaries, but everything changed because I was able to show up like fulfilled, like I've honored myself and my business, and like give that energy to others, and that replicates itself. And then there's like no stopping you, and it's magical. So, last thing, follow a tracker. If you worked a 9 to 5, something is tracking what you do at work, right? Like I used to work for State Farm, and we had like adherence trackers all day. Like you're on the phone, you're on break, you're taking emails, like whatever you're doing, right? Like if you work a job and you get paid for a job, there's a form of tracking your work. And so you own a business, and if you want it to pay you, you have to track your work. You might think you're doing all the things, but if you actually track it, you might realize you're really not doing all the things. Like, are you really listening to personal development every day? Are you really sending invites every day? Like, you have to like track that, because you can watch your tracker and it will follow your business. Okay, I have more, but I'm gonna stop talking. I got my like main points across.
No, keep going. You're killing it. You can't stop. Keep going. It's gold.
Well, I mean, I can talk all day. Okay, I'll say the two more things, or one more thing. Are you keeping coaching in the car with you? And I learned that from Trina Gray as well. And this is actually a really good one. So I'm glad that you said that. You probably didn't mean it. Like, you probably didn't think I was going to hop back on, but I am going to share this one thing. When bad things happen, is coaching first to go? Like, do you like put coaching to the side because like life gets really hectic? Like, sure, you're still a coach, right? But like you really pretty much throw it out of your priorities. Or are you the one that like leans in harder to coaching and honors your business? Like, that's also one of those mindset differences. It used to be like when I moved a couple months into coaching, I was like a fresh diamond. I was still coaching and like working out and putting it on my stories, but I wasn't like leaning into personal development, going to all the team calls, doing a tracker. And my business like did not do well because of that. I didn't like drop diamond or anything, but I probably lost opportunities that I could have had. In January, I had like the worst month, aside from when my best friend died, of my life. And that was also when I went to NLC, and when shit hit the fan in my house and I was crippled with anxiety, and any person would rightfully like have to like put coaching to the side for a minute. I leaned into coaching so hard you would like think I'm a psycho. Like, I kid you not, my house flooded. We had a mice infestation. My husband's a police officer and he was involved in his first shooting in 17 years. We were being like, lawyers were like up in our business. I was told I couldn't post on social media during the investigation. I was like, screw you, I'm posting on social media. That's my job. Like, all like someone in our family died, like all these things happened, like bam, bam, like we got in a car accident and totaled our car. Like, life was absolute chaos. And I spent like in January, I spent 4 hours the day our car was totaled on a call on a GSR with somebody who went diamond 2 months later, success starter, all of that. I could have easily been like, I've got so much going on. We'll have to do a GSR next week or whatever. But I was like, no, this is what fills me up. Like, it's a really good distraction from all the chaos in life. And so I like leaned in so hard to coaching and into what I learned at NLC. And if I didn't do that, and if I did what like 90% of people would do, which is like put it off in that season, I mean, my leaders wouldn't even know how like amazing they are. Like, that opened up the ability for all these ladies on my team to realize how amazing and capable they were, because I leaned into coaching and I set that tone for the energy. Okay, now I'm really gonna be done, because now I'm starting to cuss.
I would have been so sad if you left that out, because I feel like that is the most important part. We lean in when it gets hard. The massive success, I can speak for myself in this business, was when life was crippling hard. And I turned to my business and the strength of my team. And that was the first year we hit elite. It doesn't happen when you quit. It doesn't happen when you pull back. And you got to lean in. So if you would have missed that one, I knew that wasn't there, I would have been mad at you. So thank you for sharing it. I mean, all those pieces are, I mean, I have, 5 pages of notes? Couldn't write fast enough. I'm going to quote everything you said here. Like, I kept asking, did anybody get that? Absolutely phenomenal, Stephanie. I needed so much of that myself, so I know my team does as well. Does anybody have any questions before I just take over and pick her brain over everything I have? Does anybody want to ask anything, speak? I mean, to her amazing transformation and ridiculous success in a short amount of time. Success leaves clues, guys. Ask away. Put it in the chat, unmute yourself. And I'm more excited. Do you have anything? I'm more excited than anyone else on this call. There's, I don't know, 18 of you on this call. I like questions, she says. Okay, so when you were in the thick of it with 10 Star as the goal, how did you get them to see the vision and have a collective vision for that goal? Were you just cheering? Like what? Set that scene.
Yeah, I mean, we like there wasn't a day where everybody like wasn't included. And so like whether they were like 3 down in my downline or whatever, like I shared the vision and like made it big. So honestly, like before I did that, like 5 Star was like the floating goal. Like that cannot be a floating goal. Like it will not just happen. You have to set that goal and you have to tell that vision to your team. Maybe that won't happen, but maybe something else will. But like floating goals are not going to light fire under anyone's butt. So it's just not going to happen. So I had like made this big graphic showing where everybody was at. Like my coach bought it on Canva and she just shared it with me. So you just show like everybody, like how far they are and like who would get us to what star diamond and how many coaches they need, what day you want to hit it by. Like I filled out this graphic that was already done for me. And I shared it and I came up with this fun little idea that everybody, when we were in qualification, I would send like a different blender bottle to them every week. Once like I would check the back office Monday and like if they were locked in, I would Amazon ship it to their house. And then we would do like a little reel every week where we'd like pass the same blender bottle to each other. They're like $10, you know, like it was fun. It was super fun actually. Like we still all use our blender bottles. I made it fun, but I also like got really real about like, and I didn't make it feel like you have to do it, right? Like you don't want to drag people through qualification. Like they're not going to stay anyways. Like your job is not to drag them or force them or tell them. Like your job is to like show them how exciting it's going to be and that give them the FOMO. And that's what I did. Like I just like put it out there. I just told them how fun it's going to be when we like go elite, when we go 5 star, when we are at Summit celebrating, when I do a diamond retreat for our team, when we're a top 50 team, which we are now, like when we're a top 25 team, you know, like I tell them like how fun it's going to be, how exciting it is, like the benefits of it for everybody. And then I just like put those goals out there and we all have a text pod and I would just send like random like voice recordings, like, and honestly, when I first started doing it, like in January and February, like no one cared, no one listened, but I would send like calls that like lit a fire under my butt, like a Danielle Natoni call from 2018. You can find it on Google. It's Why Diamond. And it was Danielle Natoni on Ashley Molstad's call. And I sent it out to my team. I actually just resent it because most of those people didn't watch it. And I would just send voice memos like, guys, like we're here to like, I would just like when I get a fire in my butt from a podcast or whatever, like I would just share it with them, even if they weren't listening. And then eventually like it caught on and it's like a very active group now. Does that answer the question?
Absolutely. I love it. Love it. Anybody else? Jeanette, you have anything?
How does she get her customers to get results?
How do you get your customers to get results?
I have an accountability group and I mean, I'm like a psycho about it because I started as a customer and I had a lot of weight to lose and I needed my hand held and, you know, I never made it my coach's responsibility to get me physical results. It was always my own responsibility, but I was definitely driven and motivated by like the community and like the people I connected to. And so I connect, like, I don't have like just like my accountability groups, like everybody does this different. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it at all, but I have one big accountability group that I put all of my challengers in and it's an ongoing group. And I have this big Excel sheet. Here, I'll show you. And it looks like this. And oh, that was my this is for all my team, and I just actually redid it today. It's everyone in the group. I color code them based on the amount of check-ins, and each day, like I just like mark if they check in, because then when someone falls off, I can just reach out and be like, hey, you haven't checked in a week. What's going on? Is everything okay? Some people aren't going to take the time to do that. Like you can replicate that however you want, right? But for me, this has been super effective because one, I plug them into the community where there's daily like mindset check-ins. And two, I tell them when they get started, I say, do your first check-in because you're going to go on my Excel sheet when you do. And when you do your first check-in and you're on my Excel sheet, then every week when I do the tracking, I see that you're not checking in. Like they already know they're being watched at that point. So it's not like they're loosely checking into a Facebook group. They know that I track it every week. So they check in because they know they're going to be called out if they don't. And then I do like recognition every week in the group. But I mean, really the accountability group. And I used to like take responsibility for their journey. And when I stopped doing that, challengers started finding more success. Like you can't, like, it's like a little kid, you know, like if you entitle them too much, like they're going to be a little brat and they're not going to work a day in their life.
Yep.
Like you got to find the balance of like encouraging them, but like not doing it for them. And like, so that they just, it's easy to quit. I don't know. I share my story. Like that's really all you can do. Like that's what Danny did. Like she showed up every single day. And that's why I decided to do Morning Meltdown after trying Beachbody 5 times. I decided to do it another time because Danny showed up every single freaking day. And I will say with 100% certainty, if I didn't show up every single day with my workouts and my results, my people wouldn't all be here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they have to know that you're doing it.
Agreed. All right. I love it. I love that Excel sheet. And I know that speaks to so many girls on my team, Kristen and Natalie. There's another Excel sheet for you. Anybody else have anything they want to share, say, other than huge thank you? I mean, I think so many of us needed to hear so much of that. You guys are quiet tonight. I needed every
I
single.
did enough talking for everybody.
No, I loved it. Loved it.
So notes.
All right. No, well, Steph, I appreciate you. It was fire. I have so much I need to implement from this. You have a million quotes that I just, 6 pages of notes. Me too. Like I just have so much, so many quotes where I'm like, write that one down, write that one down. You could be one of those little daily affirmation things. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know this was on the fly and an hour of your time, so I definitely appreciate every tidbit. And girls, I hope you had some amazing takeaways. I'll put a graphic up in the team page. If you could drop one takeaway on that graphic, that would be great, just so they stay fresh in our minds, and we'll go from there. Anybody else? So thank you, Steph. Everybody else, and Steph too. Have a good night. That was amazing. Oh wait, picture. Oh, sure, yeah. I got a video. I'll tag it.